All set?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Yes.
what is your first exam?
English.
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 English. Okay. So the first exam,
English.
you're all lucky. The batch which is going to appear 2020, 21, 2021, 22 board exam is very lucky. Why? Why is it so? Why are you people so lucky?
Is there were 2 times examination?
Yeah, very good. Then, any other reason?
And the syllabus were cut off for 50%.
Oh my God, wonderful.
Only 35%.
Syllabus is cut off. Okay. But there is another big secret.
Only
Your first,
35%.
yes?
The exam is English.
Only 35%.
Very good. Your first exam is English. So you can attempt the first exam in a very relaxed, stress-free manner, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
One among the simple subject. One among the simple subject. So I hope you're all prepared. Only 3 more days to go. So let me just shift to your exam pattern, your question paper pattern. There is no need at this moment to explain about more about English language and literature because you have come to the verge of your final exam. And what is the code of your exam? Code of your paper? English language and literature, what is the subject code? What is the subject code?
18.
Very good, 184. Your subject is English language and literature. Your code is 184. Absolutely, because you need this to fill in the first page of the OMR sheet of your answer script. Already when you enter into your exam hall, you will be a little tensed. As it is English exam, you can absolutely be stress-free. Okay, so you may need the subject code and other details, of course. So you're all ready with that. How many marks is your paper altogether?
40.
40 marks. Very good. Fine. Can I get a permission to share the screen, sir? I'm not able to share the screen from here. I request the authority to kindly grant me the permission to share the screen because I'm not able to share the screen from here. Okay, meanwhile, your question paper begins with section A, reading passage, which consists of 10 marks. Section B is writing and grammar. How many marks again? Total writing section, writing and grammar together, 10 marks.
10 marks.
Yes, 10 marks. And your literature sections, the last section,
20.
section
20
20
marks.
marks.
20 marks. Yes, absolutely. Let us move on to section A, that is the reading passage. How many pre-boards did you write? How many pre-board?
2.
2 pre-boards. I think most of the students would have attempted 2 pre-boards.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I hope by now you're ready to manage, you're all set to complete the exam before time. I'm not telling on time. You have to complete your exam before time. Why should you do 3 pre-boards? Aman Muhammad has texted 3 pre-boards. Fantastic. You have to complete your language paper before time. Why should you do that? Why should you complete your exam before the time? At least 10 minutes before the prescribed time, 2 hours. Why should you do that?
To recheck
To check whether
Very
anything
good.
is wrong.
Language, yes, you need to check your paper. And as far as language is concerned, when you are very quick in writing, unknowingly, probably you are a very affluent speaker and a writer of English language, but in your hurry-burry, because because of your fixed schedule, time schedule, you may make sentence structure errors, spelling errors, grammatical errors, missing some words, which will of course lead you to lose mark. So when you find at least 10 minutes before your time, prescribed time, you will be able to check. It's a very short paper. It's not an 80-mark paper. It's just a 40-mark paper. So you will find it easy to check your paper. Find out for spelling errors. In order to complete an exam before 10 minutes, you will have to utilize your cool off time effectively. When do you get this cool off time, children?
Before the exam.
Very good. Before the exam. How many minutes do you get?
50 minutes.
15.
Yes. You have 15 minutes extra in your hands. How many of you utilized this 15 minutes very effectively during your pre-boards? I hope all of you. Everybody. Yes, I can see a hand raise. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. You will. The 15 minutes is the most precious time of your exam. You can read the passage thoroughly. Roughly, you can find out the answer key. You're not supposed to write in the question paper. So you can roughly find out the answers. Another area where you can find out your answers is grammar. Literature, you can roughly frame ideas for your answers. But the main area where your time goes is your reading passage. You have a discursive passage. First passage is a discursive passage. And the second passage is a case-based factual passage. The first passage, you will find the answers quite quickly, but the case-based passage needs some time to analyze. You have to analyze the second passage, which will have statistical data, sometimes, bar graph. Some statistical data will be provided. So you need some time to analyze the passage. Utilize that time during your cool-off time. If you are managing your cool-off time, it is very sure that you will have 10 minutes towards the end to recheck your paper. Coming to the reading passage, do not exceed the word limit. You all know your mark, it carries only 1 mark. So do not transcribe from the passage. That is the first instruction what I want to tell you. Read the question and answer to the point. You are not expected to transcribe. What do you mean by transcribing? What you see in the passage, what you find, the same lines you repeat in the passage. In your answer paper. That is not allowed. Certain answers will be appropriately, you can take it from the passage, but do not copy paste lines from the passage instead of answers. This you have to take care. Second thing is, do not exceed the word limit. I find students writing more than 6-7 lines for 1 mark. This not only takes your valuable time, this also creates a lot of confusion. You won't get the desired marks when it comes to valuation. The answer, all the evaluators stick on to the answer key. So you will also have to find out the right answer. That is why I said utilize your cool-off time effectively. Because when the exam begins, you need time for creative writing and literature. So manage your time. The first instruction I want to give you is to manage your time. I'm sure that 2 pre-boards and 3 pre-boards would have enabled you to reach that state. And therefore, I believe all of you are very comfortable right now because your first exam is English and you're all set. The next section is your section B is writing and grammar. What are the 2 questions in the writing section, children? Tell me.
Analytical paragraph and letter
Report.
writing.
Analytical paragraph and letter of
Inquiry.
like
Or
inquiry
order.
and order. Yes. Is that an optional question?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's an option. Which do you like to choose?
Letter.
Letter.
Letter to taking order.
Letter. Letter. Do you have any specific reasons for that?
Easy.
Easy.
Yeah, ma'am. It's somewhat easy.
Letter is easy. Why is letter so easy?
Ma'am, we don't have to analyze the graph or
The
graph or
topic,
something like that. So we
yes,
can write.
Karthik V. Gopal is saying something. Yes, Karthik, you may proceed. Okay, fine. I got you.
Ma'am, we don't have to analyze the graph to write it.
Yes, absolutely. The word analytical paragraph itself says that you have to analyze the given data, which will be in the form of a pie chart, bar graph, cues, and you have to analyze two different datas. You have to compare and contrast, and then frame a paragraph with an appropriate title. Obviously, from top to bottom, you will have to work on. Am I right? Analytical paragraph from top to bottom, from framing a title for your paragraph to complete a paragraph. You need to access to your ideas on the spot. It's a spontaneous work. Whereas letter, you're already learning the format from past 2 years. You're already learning from letter to editor. You're learning the format of a formal letter. And by now you would be thorough. Similarly, when coming to the body of the letter, the introductory statement and the introductory lines and the conclusion lines are mostly common. You need to focus only on the body of the letter. So, as you all said, the right choice will be to choose a letter. This is just my opinion. In case you find that the letter is little confusing, the question is confusing, you're feeling little difficult to attempt that question, you have all choice to move on to the paragraph writing. But you need to take care while you're attempting a letter of placing an order. Sometimes you find questions where the order is placed telephonically. The letter of placing an order, you would have placed an order telephonically, and now you want the items to be delivered. When you place an order telephonically, you would have verbally communicated the list of items. So when you write a letter, you will have to confirm the items that you're going to place an order. So one thing I want to tell you, children, you would have practiced n number of letters. Your teachers would have given you practice for n number of letters. One instruction which I want to tell you, read the question properly. Sometimes with a skim reading, quick reading, you will not understand what the letter is intending, what the question is. So you have to take care to understand what the letter means, and then you attempt the letter. Or else there are chances that you will deviate from the question and chances of losing mark. You all have said the right thing. The right choice is choosing a letter than an analytical paragraph writing. But again, I would like to remind you, if you find that the letter is a little confusing and you find that the analytical paragraph is more comfortable for you, of course, it's your choice to choose from both. Coming to grammar. How many marks grammar? How many marks?
5.
5 marks.
5, ma'am.
Happy? I should ask you if you're happy. You're happy?
Yes.
Upcoming year 22-23, the grammar marking scheme has changed. So you're all lucky. You're a lucky go batch. 5 marks grammar. What all topics are covered in grammar?
Editing and reported speech.
Omission.
Report speech.
Yeah. It's integrated grammar, right? Gap filling, and of course, reported speech too. How do you edit a passage? Do you assimilate all your grammar knowledge and then attempt the grammar question? Do you do that?
No.
Then how do you do that?
No.
How do you do it? Aren't your questions in the form of a passage, in the form of a paragraph? Whether it is editing or omission, it's a paragraph consisting of 4 or 5 lines explaining about something. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, absolutely. And I think I can find 250 is the strength of the participants here. So I believe that all 250, probably some parents also will be representing students. I believe that all 250 sitting here are fully able to write something in a paragraph. Are you all able to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
That is why you are getting a complex question like analytical paragraph writing. Analytical paragraph writing, because you are all equipped with paragraph writing. So, grammar question is a very simple paragraph. So, do you find it difficult to edit a simple paragraph like that?
No, ma'am.
So, what is the trick? Now, here I'm not here to teach you grammar. Your teachers would have taught you separately the grammar topics, determiners, subject-verb agreement, tenses, and then they would have shifted to reported speech. So I'm not here to teach you grammar, but I can give you a very quick tip to attempt grammar. I find that students are so much conscious when it comes to editing that they try to find out error from each line. But I would advise you to read that passage again and again, 2-3 times. Without looking at the options, you will be getting the answers spontaneously, because you are people who write paragraphs and essays. You won't find it difficult to find out the mistakes or find out what is missing from a small paragraph. So read the paragraph. You will find that you will automatically get the missing words, or you will find time to correct the errors. So here something is wrong. The preposition here is wrong. The tense used here is wrong. You yourself will be able to understand without even looking at the options. That is a quick way to edit a passage or work on grammar, because the language is not aligned to you. This is a very familiar language in which you're writing an exam. So don't tell me you find difficult to edit a small paragraph. As simple as that. And provided your teachers would have given you enough practice. Always revise tenses, because only if you're thorough with tenses, you will be able to do this reported speech properly. Reported speech is nothing but you have to take care of back shifting the tense. I hope you know that. A tense back shift happens when you report a dialogue. Back shifting tense. Again, I'm not here to teach you grammar. Grammar can be taught in different ways. So here are 250 children sitting in front of me with different styles of learning grammar. So I'm not here to teach you grammar, but I'm giving you simple tips. Be very careful when you're reporting something. Do not forget to back shift the tense. And small areas where you need to take care. Grammar is just 5 marks, just a motivation from me. Grammar is just 5 marks, don't worry. And I believe that your English paper will be easy. The grammar section will be easy. Prayers for that. Yeah. Moving on to the last section, literature. What are the marking scheme of questions you find in literature? Do you have an extract-based questions?
No.
Do you have?
No.
No.
No. Very good. You don't have extract-based questions. Then what are the type of questions you have? 3 mark?
2 mark and 4 mark.
2 marks.
Yes. Amen. 2 mark and 4 mark question. How many 2 mark questions should you attempt?
6.
6.
6. How many 4 mark questions should you attempt?
2.
2. Do you find this area easy?
Yes.
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 Why do you find literature section easy? Is there any stories, fictions, poems from both the textbooks, First Flight and Footprints Without Feet? Is there any story that you do not know?
No.
No.
Oh,
Everybody here, I believe. Is there any doubt in any of those areas where you feel that you do not know the story? I guess
No, ma'am.
everybody in this room are fully aware and know the stories of all these fictions and poems prescribed for term 2. And that is why you say literature is easy. I agree. I totally agree. And you may be feeling relaxed. You may be feeling very comfortable. You'll be in your comfort zone. When it comes to literature, unlike your science and maths, where you'll have to break your head to solve problems, you're pretty much comfortable when it comes to English because you know all the stories and all the poems, be it Amanda. What are the other poems? Tale of
Animals.
Custer the Dragon.
Animals.
Yes, animals. Such simple poems. Such simple poems. Lucky are you people. Again, luckiest batch. Scenario is changing next year. Even in your sleep, if I wake you up, you will say the 3 poems prescribed for you. It's not possible next year. So again, you're a lucky batch. Consider yourself lucky. But there is one thing. Since you are so very confident about the content knowledge, the story of all the prose, fiction, and poems, you are little easygoing there. And when it comes to a 2-mark question, you don't read the question properly. And if you feel that you do not know the answer, you simply write the story there. How many of you do that? Honestly. മലയാളത്തിൽ പറയണമെങ്കിൽ ചോദ്യത്തിന്റെ ഉത്തരം ശരിക്കും അറിയില്ലെങ്കിൽ ആ എഴുത്തുകാരന്റെ പേരും ആ കഥയും അങ്ങോട്ട് വെട്ടിച്ചുരുക്കി അവിടെ പെട്ടെന്ന് അങ്ങോട്ട് എഴുതി മുഴുവനാക്കും. അപ്പൊ ഒരു മനസ്സിന് എല്ലാത്തിനും സുഖമാണ് അല്ലേ? When I say it in Malayalam, I think you'll understand better. I'm sure some of you will be doing that. And I can see honest hand rise. I appreciate. I'm not calling out names. I appreciate your honesty. Very good. But please, children, do not do that. Do not do that. That is not where we were learning this syllabus, English language and literature. Every story, every fiction, every prose like making of a scientist, every poem, they have their own difference. They all have so depthful values that are conveyed to us, connecting to our real life situations. So we are actually doing a cruel act by doing that. Read the question properly. Madam rides the bus. Who is the main character of that story?
Valli.
Yes. Yes, a small girl called Valli. A very small girl. And the entire story focus on, yes, Rizana, Valli. Absolutely. And the entire story focus on the perspective of Valli, not our perspective. When we read the story, or at least when I read that story, I will be thinking, no other work. Who is so much bothered about a bus journey? I hate traveling by bus. Better to take an auto or a cab to move to places. Why should I travel in a bus? ഇതൊക്കെ ആയിരിക്കും മുതിർന്ന നമ്മളുടെ കാഴ്ചപ്പാട്. But that story is entirely in the perspective of a small 8-year-old girl called Valli, and the lesson she learned towards the end of the story during the bus journey. So your question will be related to that, not on the story how Valli took up the trip, not on how Valli traveled by saving her money, how she utilized the time and how she traveled. That is the entire story, but there is one highlighting value there. She learns a life lesson. What is death? So the question may be connected to that. To an 8-year-old girl, death is something shocking. And how did she learn that lesson? How did she learn about death? All of
About the dead cow.
Through
Yes.
a young cow.
A young cow.
Absolutely, the cow. She was so happy to see a running cow, but on her return, it was in a pool of blood, lying dead. അത്രയുള്ള ജീവിതം അത്രയുള്ള ജീവിതം എന്ന് ആ കുട്ടി അവിടെ 8 വയസ്സുള്ള ഒരു കുട്ടി അവിടെ മനസ്സിലാക്കുന്നത് ഒരു ഞെട്ടലോട് കൂടിയിട്ടാണ്. In a great shock. So the question may be oriented to the value. Imagine you write the story there. Valli is watching from her doorstep how travelers are going by bus. She traveled by bus. She saw a cow running. Later on, she saw a cow dead. And there ends the story. No, that is not what is wanted there. What is wanted there is the value the child learns there. The value an 8-year-old child learns there. Sermon of Benares. Tell me more about Sermon of Benares.
Sir.
Sermon at Benares. Who was the story mainly focusing on?
Buddha.
Buddha or Kisa Gautami? Buddha or Kisa?
Isa Gautam land.
Both. Yeah?
Yeah.
If I say both,
No, to understand about the death was common for all.
what do you mean by a sermon? What is a sermon?
It's a speech.
Moral preaching.
Okay, a religious speech. Is it not? A religious speech. Even in Islam, Muhammad Nabi used to give religious speeches. Gautam Buddha, a brief note about the early life of Gautam Buddha is given. So you have to relate it to his life also sometimes. Gautam Buddha was a very, a great prince, he had a luxurious life. Can't even imagine Buddha enjoying a luxurious life, right?
Yes.
Because all we know about Buddha is that he meditated under a banyan tree, people tree, and he attained what? He attained
Enlightenment.
Enlightenment. That's all we know about Buddha. But he was a great prince. So there is a background behind that. Nothing much, but relating that, the brief note is given in the beginning of the story itself. He saw 2-3 things when he went on hunting. That's how he decided that he has to shed away this luxurious life and understand what is pain and suffering of people. And the lesson that Kisa Gautami learns again about death, which is inevitable, adine base cheyidittarikkum questions. When it comes to your 4-mark question, it will be based on the value of the story. So there, dear children, please don't write the entire story for 4 mark. I have seen children doing that. ചോദ്യം വായിച്ചിട്ട് കൃത്യമായിട്ട് ഉത്തരം ഉണ്ടാവും. 1 or 2 lines in that 4-mark question will be the answer, but majority of the answer will be the entire story. Kisa Gautami's son died, then Buddha, the sermon, then she realized her mistake. No, that is not what is wanted. How is Buddha trying to, through his sermon, trying to stress on the fact of death, which is inevitable? ഒരിക്കലും നമുക്ക് തടഞ്ഞു നിർത്താൻ പറ്റാത്തൊരു കാര്യമാണ് death. How is he trying to give that through the sermon explaining about a lady called Kisa Gautami? So what I want to tell you through these examples is that please read the question properly and write the accurate answer, because for board valuation, accurate answers will be given as answer key in points. Evaluators will, how can we write those line for 4 marks? Yes, somebody has asked me about, I'll come to that. Weightage is very important. Weightage to the questions are very important. Let me take an example of somebody asked me a doubt how to write for 4-mark question all these points. Let me take your own sample, CBSE released sample question paper of term 2. The 4-mark question. Parents play a crucial role in the upbringing of their children. Critically examine the parents of Boli and Ebright, highlighting their impact on their children's lives. It's a these two contents are from 2 chapters, but they have some similarity. You're expected to write 120 words. More specifically speaking, at least 8 lines. So you can't beat about the bush. You can't repeat the points. You have to be very specific here. Parents play a crucial role in the upbringing of their children, no doubt about it. Parents are the role models of their children. So here are 2 parents. Who are the 2 parents here?
Bolis and Ebright.
Yes, Ebright's mother and
Bolin's
Boli's mother. How are they 2? Similar?
No.
No. Ebright's mother is such a motivating mom.
Yes.
Supporting mom.
In fact, she was the person to instill the curiosity, the scientific curiosity in Ebright. Do you agree with me?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Constantly, she provided her enough opportunity to explore the world of science. It was she who introduced her to the book. Which book?
Travels of
Travels of Monarch X. Absolutely. Travels of Monarch X. These are the points you will include in one. You will include to just give an explanation about Ebright's mother. Coming back to Boli's mother, a very conservative lady, typically belongs to that old mentality. For her, her only intention is to get her daughters married off. And because of her lack of exposure and lack of education and background, she wasn't even supporting her daughter who had poor marks. The mother should be the backbone for such children. But she was just the opposite. And who was supportive for Boli?
Teacher.
Her teacher. So as a mother, she was 0% supportive. But knowingly or unknowingly, she did one good thing. What was that?
ending Boli to school.
Send her to school.
Yeah, they admitted her in a school, thinking that anyway, she's not going to get married. Let her study at least. But that was a turning point in the life of Boli. But there is no need to mention about what I said in this question, because here we are analyzing the 2 parents. Ebright's mother proved that parents play a crucial role, because Ebright reached to great heights because there was constant support from Ebright's mom. Whereas Boli would have been a big failure, would have landed in great depression, if not there was an intervention from the side of the teacher. Mother's support was new. There wasn't any support from the side of mother. You have to mix this and attempt that answer and finish it off in at least 8 to 9 lines. I hope it is clear, children. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Coming to the 2-mark question, last but not the least, weightage of 2-mark question. Do not exceed more than 4 lines. Do not exceed more than 5 lines. You are deviating from the question. That gives a clue to the, so you all know that your last answer paper is not going to be evaluated by your own teachers. Your own teachers will be able to identify your handwriting even without looking into your names. I can see few names here. Shadia Femin, Joel Roshan, nice name. Hafsa Hussain, Neetha Mansoor, Nishad Rahman. Your teachers will be able to identify your names without looking at the names, just by your handwriting, because they are used to it from your periodic test 1, your class test. But this paper is going to new hands. So you have a moral responsibility to take care of your handwriting from the beginning. Legible, it has to be legible. I'm not saying that teachers will judge you, but there are high chances. Your handwriting matters, your writing style matters, the way you present yourself by meeting the weightage. Do not exceed more than 5 lines for your 2-mark question, maximum 4 lines. So you have to be very close to the question, answer to the question. With one example, I would like to give you one example. Justify how Animals by Walt Whitman is a criticism of mankind and its ways. Tell me 2 or 3 points valid for this. How are animals? What do you mean that it is a criticism of mankind? Which means? Animals are better than?
Humans.
Excuse me. Animals are better than humans. Absolutely. How are they better than humans? How is Walt Whitman trying to put it?
They do not lay awake in the dark.
Go land for material things or never grumble about their condition.
Okay.
Animals do not whine about their work.
Very good. They don't, human beings, just like
Discuss
human
their
beings,
duties to the God.
they are happy with what they have, right? They are self-contented. They don't cry for what they do not have. Yeah, they don't complain. They don't.
They don't want materialistic.
Yes, they are not
Calm and-
materialistic. They don't commit mistakes and repent for that by crying during the night time, dark times.
They were more placid.
They are calm
They are
and
more,
colorless.
yes, so yeah, you have enough points, but be careful. Take 2 or 3 very important points you feel and answer this question. Do not here you have a high chance, because you know so many points, there are high chance that you will deviate from the weightage. Take care of the weightage. If you take care of the weightage, you will be able to finish the exam on time. Before time, I should say, to check your answers. Fine. One more question, the last. Briefly state how Matilda invited a dreadful life of necessity into her family. I'll repeat the question. Briefly state how Matilda invited a dreadful life of necessity into her family. Who's Matilda, by the way? Which story, which fiction is this from? Okay. Now comes the very important question. That is a dreadful life of necessity. എപ്പോഴാണ് ജീവിതത്തിന്റെ ശരിക്കുമുള്ള നെസസിറ്റി മനസ്സിലായത് എപ്പോഴാണ്?
She had lost
Very good. When she lost the necklace. Yes.
Her life
But
had become misery.
Asna Rafi. Yes, absolutely. Very good. So you're able to come to the point. But what happens is children start the answer like this. Matilda was very unhappy. She had to go for the ball. She did not have any dress. അതൊക്കെ ഇവിടെ ആവശ്യമുണ്ടോ? No. Come straight to the point, but not bluntly. Matilda's unsatisfying nature and her greed made her participate in a ball, buying expensive dresses, buying an expensive dress, and also a necklace from her friend. And unfortunately, she loses that. And from then on, she understood the because they had to repay a big debt. So she understood the hardships of life. They discarded their servant and they understood the hardships of life. For how many years they had to spend like that?
10 years.
10 years.
So 10 years. So what I am telling is also an expansion. Cut it short, put it short and crisp, and write to the weightage of 2 mark. Clear, children?
Yes.
I'm sure that all these things what I discussed, you have a better idea. You may be very much more creative than me, but take care. But in an exam hall, things should not go off your hands. Be cool, be relaxed, and take over things like that. Fine? Yes.
Yes.
Naufal? Yes, Naufal, sir? Hello?
Ma'am, you may take any questions from students. If there are any questions.
So I couldn't get you. There was a disturbance.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Now it's clear. Yeah.
If students are having any questions, we can address now.
Yeah. Sure.
It's time for clearing their doubts. Few of their doubts can.
Yes, of course.
Any relevant queries, please, students, please.
You may unmute yourself. If you wish, I can't see any of your faces. Okay.
Ma'am.
If you unmute yourself and turn on your video, I would be glad.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, will there be poetic devices?
Fazila Ramiz. You weren't audible, dear.
Ma'am, will there be poetic devices?
Poetic devices. You mean to, did you mean will there be a question based on poetic devices?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't discard that, thought, because there are chances they may ask for, a poetic device, linking it in a question form. In a question form, by connecting to the context also, because metaphors and similes can be asked, linking it contextually. So you can't say no. When you read Fazila, I would advise you, whenever you go through a poem, understand the poetic devices and go ahead. So it will be easy for you to answer in whatever manner they ask the question. Fine?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes?
Students, if you have any relevant questions, please clear. You need not wait a long time. Please, if you have any questions.
Ma'am,
Yes.
about
Yes.
2 mark question, if we write introduction, is there any problem? At the starting of the answer, if we write introduction, is there any problem?
Aman, it wasn't clear, Aman.
Ma'am,
Ramla,
if we write introduction,
Ramla, I guess it's a student. Can you type it, dear? Can you type it? Because you're not clear, audible.
Ma'am, he is asking
Title is-
if we write the introduction before the answer, is it okay?
Only if there is a need, you have to write an introduction. This poem, or this prose is written by so-and-so, is not required for a 2-mark question. But you have to begin the answer very promptly, connecting to the context of the 2-mark question. Got me? Because you are going to be very crisp and concrete in 2-mark. Short answers. If you find that the question need a backup of the writer, then you can write. Or else, don't bluntly begin with something, but begin appropriately connecting to the context of the question. I think one Ramla asked me a doubt. Analytical paragraph title. Title is a must because title carries mark. Any paragraph writing, title is must. So do not skip away the title. Okay, Fatima has asked how to write a perfect analytical paragraph for 4 marks. Analytical paragraph what is the weightage for a mark, weightage of mark, dear? Is it 4 mark or 5 mark?
5 mark. 5 mark.
Yeah. So let me correct that first. Obviously, so you have to when you're writing an analytical paragraph, you have to first think of few things important. One, you have to analyze the data. Analytical paragraph will consist of, as I told you, a bar graph or a pie chart or a table with content or sometimes cues. You will have to analyze the data. It may be two data of one region, for example, agriculture of one region and agriculture of another region, and the graph will show the difference in the products and their, production. So you will have to compare the data, compare and contrast, and finally in the conclusion, you can give, based on the line graph, if it is a line graph, whether this production change will be there in this area or whether it will drop down, and give a prompt conclusion. Do not bluntly write a paragraph. And study the paragraph, analyze the paragraph, and then give a proper conclusion. All these are important. Somebody has written, in our school, they said that there is no need of a title for analytical paragraph writing. For any paragraph writing, title is required. Okay? So, which school, I don't know. Anyway, if you're attempting an analytical paragraph writing, provide a title. That will be more, that will put you in a more safer situation. We do not know whether Cbse will bring out an answer key without a title or whether there will not be any title marks for the title. But let us put ourselves in a safer side. Provide a title for your paragraph because you're writing something. It is your write-up. So you'll have to provide a title. Analyze the paragraph and provide a proper conclusion. I couldn't read what you, the 2-mark question doubt. Somebody has just texted me. What is that? Can you retype it if you don't mind? Yes. As I said, of course, not more than 4 lines. So content should be very crisp. You can't miss the content in connection with the context. At the same time, see that you do not exceed the word limit. Again, for a 4-mark question, not more than 8 or 9 lines. Maximum 8 to 9 lines. So even if it is... yes, there is a question. Should we attend the questions in order? I wanted to, because my PPT is not working. I'm unable to share the PPT here. My technician said that the screen share button is not working here. So let me tell you one important thing. Yes, there are 2-3 important things to be shared here. Please do not mix and attend. See, I see a format where in the reading passage, children mix the question number and attend. Do not mix the question number. Like 1, first it will be 5, then 3, then 1, then 2, because maybe they know the answers first. But that will create a confusion while evaluating. Chances of mistakes happening from the side of evaluator. Write in an order. Then, if you feel that you want, you can of course change the section and write, but you have to stick on to one section. For example, you don't want to attempt reading passage first, but instead you want to write literature. Attempt section C first completely. Then shift to the next section. In between section C, don't, stuff in grammar in between, letter in between. Don't do that. Section wise you attend. Whichever section you want to choose, you can. But complete the section and move to the next one. Similarly, if you do not write question number, that answer will not be evaluated. So you have to write the question number. Some children forget the question number in the hurry-burry. Zina Sharaf, I guess. What did you mean by letter weightage? The mark is 5, of course. Mark for letter is 5. 3 mark and plus for the content and 3.5 to 4 on content. Is there any chance to cut mark on exceeding word limit? Let me give you an example. Muttu Muhammad. Is there any chance if the, mark will be cut for excessive mark? Excessive, of course, chances are there, but if you reduce the weightage, for 2 mark, we find that some students, when we go for valuation, we find that they write just 1 mark, 1 line, 2 line. So you get only 1 mark, 1.5 mark, 1.5 credit. You unnecessarily lose mark. So I think you would have practiced writing to the weightage. When you practice that, there won't be any problem towards the final exam. I hope this instruction would have been given by your teachers. Okay, so you have to stick on to the weightage. Yes, yes, dear. I kept on seeing in between some other doubts like 4-mark question. What is the doubt with 4-mark question? So only one thing, children, relax yourself. That itself saves a lot of, solves a lot of problem. Relax yourself. Take a deep breath before you, begin your exam. Stay cool, and then be cool during your cool off time. Don't look at the question paper and panic. Relax yourself. Take your own time and to read the question paper and understand. After the cool off time, you should be all set to write. You can't waste thinking a lot of time for your letter and analytical paragraph. No need to divide. Analytical paragraph consists of 5 marks. You can divide the paragraph into 2, not more than that. Do not divide it more than that. It's just a 5-mark question. You can divide the paragraph into 2, but not more than that. Yes.
Ma'am, for former question, do we need to write in paragraphs?
Which one?
For former question, do we need to write in
No,
paragraphs?
no, let it be in 1 paragraph. That's enough. That is why I said 8 to 9 lines. Even if it is 10 lines, it won't exceed. But try to cover, do not exceed more than that. 8 lines is sufficient. 4 marks, 8 lines.
Okay, ma'am.
Don't count the lines and count the words. When you find that you have covered the accurate points, appropriate points, you may start the answer appropriately, end the answer appropriately. Your presentation matters a lot.
Sure, ma'am.
Yes. Any other doubts?
Ma'am, is there any chance of writing character sketch in former question?
Only when you get a question like that. But you have to, when you write a character sketch, for example, about a Valli, or let us take any, give me an example of a character from some other story. Yeah?
Natalia. Lamu.
No, it wasn't audible, dear.
Letkins.
Natalia. Natalia. Who's Natalia?
Daughter of Chico.
Okay. Natalia. Okay. Somebody says Lomo. Okay. A character. Imagine a character from Proposal. It's a farce proposal. The main intention of the drama Proposal is to create a humor sense where you find a lot of inappropriate arguments. So when you focus on a character sketch like Natalia, I think you will have to mix with the content. Give examples from the content, 1 or 2 examples, just 4 marks. And then tell her character. Just don't talk about her character. State 1 or 2 examples from the story to stress on that character and then draft a character sketch. Right, Abhiram?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Give me a second. It's national anthem here. Sorry, children, that was national anthem time here. Yes, any more doubts? Yeah, Shafna, Fatima Shafna. I already told you some tips about editing a passage. You should be a little careful when you you should be a little careful with prepositions, where there are high chances that you may go wrong. Before that, read the passage as a whole. Read the paragraph which you have to edit as a whole and find out in which tense it is. You have to identify the tense. Then accordingly, you have to find out the answers. When you read the passage 2-3 times, you will find that spontaneously you're able to get to the answer. That is another trick. Then you only need to confirm with the other options. Don't get confused. Stick on to what your spontaneity told you, which will be the right option. And be very careful with the tenses. You should be very sure about in what tense that paragraph is written. Fine. Somebody asked me something in between. Can you repeat that if you don't mind? Welcome, Shafna. I saw some other message. The title for analytical paragraph can be given based on what the data is about, based on what the topic. Is it about agriculture? Is it about the study of a pandemic situation? Based on what the topic is, frame a very short title. Do not frame a lengthy sentence as a title. Title, of course, you all know, should be a phrase, not a very lengthy sentence. Connecting to the topic of the paragraph, you may frame any title. And somebody asked me, coming to the body of the letter, it is a 5-mark question. Introductory lines can be 2-3 lines, not more than 3. Conclusion also can be. Conclusion and all are actually templates. That's how I teach my children. The template can be used for any letter. So body only you really need to work out. That should not be more than 4 or 5 lines. So you should be very specific about what you convey. And if it is a letter of placing order, you will you'll be placing a table, a box with the needed list. So do not make your letter lengthy. It's a formal letter. It should be very crisp and concrete. Sir, Naufal sir, I think...
Yes, time is up. I think let's somehow
it's
conclude.
Already 3:35.
More questions are there.
1 second, sir. Last doubt. Did they reduce marks? I think you meant, will they reduce for mixing answers? Nobody will reduce you marks for mixing the answers, but there are high chance that it'll confuse the evaluators. In between, if you thrust in different questions, it won't look good. Nobody is going to cut marks just because you mixed it, but you have a high chance that some questions will be missed out during valuation. This happens not only for English, for other science subjects also. Every subject, science and all, there may be 2-mark question, 1-mark question from different sections, and if you write it scattered, it'll be missed out while evaluating. So there are chances that you will lose mark. So let us always put ourselves in a safe place, safe zone. Fine? Yes, sir.
Yes, madam. Thank you very much for presenting this session, and you are attending a lot of questions, and still the questions are coming.
Yes.
I think most of the questions can be attended by their teachers itself, but still.
Oh, that's not a matter. I can get that.
See, a lot of questions are there. Anyway, I wish all the very success to the students. Some were asking about the evaluators' faults and all. My dear children, be optimistic. There is nothing happen like that. So be perfect, and you will be getting good marks.
Yes.
And we, the Malappuram Central Sahodaya, on behalf of Sahodaya, we express and we extend all the success to all the students who are appearing for this examination. And this examination is going to happen on 27th. After that, we will be having some sessions like this for the remaining subjects too. So kindly stay tuned. And this time, I extend my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to Zarina ma'am. In the busiest schedule, you could see that we could listen that she's working there in the school, and still she's having schedules in between the tight schedule. She came for us and she presented well for us. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much on behalf of Central Sahodaya. Once again, all the best wishes to all the students appearing for class 10 examinations in
Yes.
CBSE sector. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Thank you so much. And all the very best to all these warriors right in front of me. No worries at all. I was only giving you tips. You are always in a comfortable zone. Your happiness is our happiness. All the very best for your exam. Come out in flying colors.
Thank you all. Let's leave.
Thank you. Sir, I wish I can leave. Hello? So thank you so much, children, once again, and all the very best. It's time for me to go. See you.